Arsenal scores a lot, controversy in a Liverpool match, and the Manchester Derby. We talk match week 27. Starting 11 starts now. When I hit the right button. Guys, we're back. I don't know if you could tell, but they left the not smartest one alone to do the show once again. Once in a while, a button will get hit wrong. That's because, I don't know how to do it very well. Anyways, thanks for joining Starting 11 of Snark. Unfortunately, Adelia couldn't make it today. I will hope she makes it next week. Big week next week as well. We'll talk this week, though. Goodness sakes, match week 27. We're going to start with a certain football club I support. And not Brentford, but Brentford 2, Chelsea 2. It's on Saturday. Pochettino decides that he's going to start a back three in this game, trying to take some of the weight off of Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. And it looks good in the first half. Nicholas Jackson, and I'm going to say something controversial. I don't want you guys to get too upset, but has an easy chance to score and flubs it. I think I say this about Nicholas Jackson quite a bit, and this time he made a great play. He gets a pass from Enzo, takes it into the box, he rounds Flecken, and just far too casually tries to just aim it into the, not shoot it. I guess he's going on his left foot, kind of slips at the time, but Zanka is easily there to recover. I think he was there before the ball even met the line. It's not a great showing from Nicholas Jackson there, but he's going to have a chance to make up for it a little later. In fact, 5 minutes later, Malo Gusto, who was fantastic in this match, somehow not named man of the match because I can't. I don't know what to tell you. This is from the Premier League's website, anyways. Yes, not named man of the match. He was by far the best player on the pitch, but it's like they say in that what is it? Not Survivor. What is it, Survivor? It's the votes that count. This time they voted for someone else. Well, they voted for a Chelsea player. I'm not gonna worry too much about it, but yeah, Malo Gusto, the best player on the pitch. Also, what's with soccer players needing awards and trophies all the time? Like, there's yet another the London Football Player Awards the other day where Cole Palmer won an award. I guess I could say Cole Palmer man of the match for this one. For some reason, he was certainly not the best player on the pitch, but I guess sometimes it's as much a popularity contest as anything. And don't get me wrong, I love Cole Palmer. It's just Malo Gusto should have had props here. Malo Gusto, mind you, the second choice right back for Chelsea. If somebody would ever get healthy, if someone could ever play more than 5 games a year, 6 games a year, pretty ridiculous. Anyways, back to him. Fantastic cross from the touchline. Finds Nicholas Jackson's head. All he had to do is kind of be there. It goes in the net. For Chelsea leading on the road. And again, it's looking fine. Until halftime, when Potch's speech must have been, that worked well. Let's change it. Because they decide, I don't know if they try to park the bus or what they do, but they decide to send 5 to the back and invite pressure. If you know these guys in Chelsea, this does not work well. I have zero understanding why it's not like these guys play a ton. You know what I mean? Run these guys. You have No. If you're worried about you're worried about the midfield, come on. Yeah, I don't get it. Anyways, uh, it takes 5 minutes for Palace to take advantage of this. And of all people, Mats Rorslev is the one who scores. Yeah, it's just awful defending in the box. He gets his first goal in the last 2 seasons. Five Chelsea defenders are looking at each other afterwards, like the Spider-Man meme. Terrible. It was terrible. And straight after, yeah, Cole Palmer, who we talked about, who's named man of the match, has a terrific chance. Just not long afterwards, it's about an hour in, he gets the ball in great space. He only has the keeper to beat. Hammers the ball wide, wide. You got to get it on net there, pal. It's a problem that plagues Chelsea Football Club. They, I don't know how large they think the nets are. The nets are pretty large. They just think they're bigger. It doesn't work out for him. He misses. Yeah, that's after a nice. It's after another great pass by Gusto too. Like, come on, you're blowing this guy's chances here. Jan Wissa is the guy who puts Palace ahead. And again, it's after four Chelsea guys. The ball goes into the box, goes towards net. Four defenders collapse on the goalkeeper, leaving the entire crease stuff open. The box is wide open. It goes to Franco Nyeka. It kind of taps up to Wissa, and he does the overhead kick, and in just misses Levi Cole's face, and in. Now everyone's saying, "Oh, what a wonderful strike and stuff like that." That's the second time he tried that in this match. The first time was an easy catch or whatever. He did get hold of it this time. It's gonna look good on the highlights, but like if it was a natural thing, he's been trying to get this thing down the and just because Chelsea was so shoddy at defending, he managed to fulfill his duties and score his overhead kick goal. Good for him. Yeah, it's a good goal. Again, terrible defending by Chelsea. Uh, I don't know what anyone was doing there. Why would you send for a back? Why would you not look to pick up anybody? Doesn't incredible. Anyways, so the traveling fans, fun enough. Usually, it's the traveling fans that are the most patient, and they were singing things and saying things. Maybe maybe because out of frustration. Maybe just they needed to get their voices heard because they're the ones traveling to these games instead of paying the money, even though they just had to go to Brentford. Not like a huge deal. So, for of course, the Roman Abramovich chance, not going to happen. The guy, not the best kind of guy. He did great for us. Not the best guy, fellas. And then they were channeling for the special one. They want Jose Mourinho. Not with this club. Anybody with talent that's young won't see the pitch. You want to talk him, you can talk Kevin De Bruyne. You talk Mo Salah, two guys he had that he bounced. Then started getting nasty towards Poch. A very, let's say, popular expletive used towards Poch in this one. And another possibly worse one towards Todd Bowley, of course, one of the chairs of Green Clear Lake Capital, owners of Chelsea Football Club. Of course, wasn't there, so I don't know if you heard it or not. Using let's say, an expletive most famous recently from, say, The Boys television series. If you follow that show, you will know which one I'm talking about and what they think of Todd Bowley. But turns out tempers might ease towards the end of the match. In the 83rd minute, Christian Norgard it gets the ball stripped from him by Malo Gusto. Again, we're mentioning his name, not the man of the match, somehow. He passes to Cole Palmer. His shot saved, but rolls out for a corner, and it's taken quickly by Palmer, and gets it back and crosses it to the far post and finds a guy who, until this point, had been a goat for Chelsea, not the good way. He was terrible defensively, but he decides to rise up and head home the winner. Axel Disasi, as one of the announcers calls him, heads home the equalizer. Chelsea avoid losing the double to Brentford for the first time since 1938-39. So maybe they can have a trophy made out of that or something. Still, still not a double taken from us by Brentford for 90 something years, 85 years. But they still haven't beat them in the last 5 meetings. Okay. All right. Now, I talked to you guys enough. Well, I haven't really talked to you guys enough. I've just barely started talking to you. I will, though, have our friend Justin talk to you about our Patreon.
Hey guys, it's Justin, aka Hambone, just here to let you know a couple of things that we have going on with the channel. One, we have a Patreon. If you can and want to support us, you can do that. As little as $1. You can join the Discord. We also have a merch store where you can get some cool shirts, mugs, and stuff with all of our different shows and labels on there. And thank you for all of our supporters that have already been there with us.
It's letsgetreadynetwork.com. I believe it has links for the Patreon, has links for our merch store, lots of things that Adelia's done. Adelia's done a fantastic job with that website. Guys, go check out letsgetreadynetwork.com. Now, back to Matchweek 27, guys. We're talking Everton and West Ham. A scoreless first half. Both keepers, one keeper much busier than the other, but both made decent saves first. And then the Beto in the 54th, I believe it is, Beto has a pass knocked down in the box by the hand of the West Ham captain, the man whose name I don't mention on this show for good reason, even though he's a former Chelsea man. Craig Dawson was looking right at it and still had VAR make the call. Just make the call. All right, you're the ref. You see it. Just make the call. Make them overrule you. Like, come on, just make the call. This is ridiculous already. No one's gonna question it. They saw it. Well, whatever. Anyways, VAR takes a look at it, makes the right decision. It's an obvious penalty. But Beto, sorry, this is in the first half. It might be. So, anyways, Beto had started for Dom Calvert-Lewin, their usual penalty keeper. So maybe a few nerves pick up for Beto. He tries to put it into the bottom right corner. Ariel, I guess, absolutely right, was there in plenty of time to make the save. Keep it scoreless throughout until halftime. Now, in the second half, Beto makes it up. In the 56th minute, he takes a terrific James Garner cross into the box, emphatically hits it in. He makes no mistake this time. 2 minutes later, Dwight McNeil gets robbed by Areola. West Ham levels in the 62nd minute. James Ward-Prowse goes off the cross. James Ward-Prowse's corner. There we go. Goes off the captain's head and in. Both keepers would again continue to keep their clubs in it. Areola, of course, the busier of the two. The tie would be broken in the first stoppage minutes, though. Mo Kudus' cross, chested down by Thomas Susek in the box, and he'll find the top left corner for the late lead, and they'll add another from a counterattack. Jared Bowen passing to Edson Alvarez for the goal. Toffees had 11 shots on goal in that game. Could only manage the one shot. I believe West Ham had 5. 3 of them finding their way in. Everton, well, at least they got 4 points back from their deduction. They have not looked fantastic. A little topsy-turvy from West Ham again. But David Moyes, he still has a job, and he's still winning. That's what he says he does. He wins. So there you go. Fulham at home at Craven Cottage, taking on Brighton. Now, life without Matoma beginning for Brighton. They announced that he has an injury, probably out for the rest of the season. They said could be months, probably rest of the season. We'll see. They're not getting relegated, and a European spot is possible, but unlikely. They've been again incredibly inconsistent, so we'll see. I don't see a need for them to bring Matoma back, especially if it could do more harm than good. Uh, Seagulls though had 71% of the ball in this match. They always had the ball. It just turns out Fulham was good at the counterattack. Just a lot of side to side passing too. It reminded me a lot of a certain other team from Fulham. The only real team from Fulham. Didn't do him any good. Harry Wilson opening the scoring on a lovely left-footed strike after Joel Veltman gives the ball away near the box to Rodrigo Muniz, who headed down a pass, found Wilson. He takes it to the box in the top left corner. Wilson has 12 goals in the Premier League, and they're all scored with his left boot. Uh, I think he said he's fourth among players who scored exclusively with their left foot. They've never scored a goal with his right foot. One of the ones in front with 20 is Mbumo. Mbumo goes the dynamite leading the charge at 20, so he's got a ways to go to catch him. But it was Mbumo still stays injured, maybe, because Harry wasn't, again, named player of the match for this one. He was very good. Wilson then does the favor to Muniz. 10 minutes later, his whip cross finding Muniz's head. Again, just had to be there. Puts it in. No problem. Fulham seemed to thrive on the counter against Brighton. They really couldn't do much. Getting numerous chances. And this is all. They hardly had the ball, remember. They only had 29% of the ball. They get it and go straight down and do something with it. Remember when Brighton were valuing Evan Ferguson at £100 million? All right. Yeah, everyone knows that an 18-year-old kid who has the potential to be a striker, who could look good in his first couple match, is worth $100 million. Do they think Chelsea will just buy everything? Brighton? Well, they just bought their head scout or whatever, so who knows? They might be right. Bunch of suckers. We're like, Chelsea's going to change their badge to a friggin' seagull soon. Enough. He had a couple of good chances. He puts one wide. Burns one straight at Brent Leno. Also, Adama Traore, tough looking man, finishes the scoring. After Bobby DeCorva-Reid just takes the ball from Pascal Gross. Pascal Gross, again, just looking to put the ball side to side. Just has the ball nicked from him by DeCorva-Reid. Puts it Dama alone. He scores. It's Fulham's first back-to-back wins this season. And I thought Chelsea had it bad, but Chelsea, I think Fulham are doing pretty well in the table, right there with Chelsea. So I'd like to say good for them, but I cannot stand them, so I will not. And I hope that it doesn't last. There you go. Next match, we can go to Newcastle. Newcastle, again, another inconsistent team, taking on Wolves, who had been playing quite well of late. But this is an all Newcastle matchup here, folks. They're tough to find goals. Of course, Joe Gomez is out. Wang Yi-Chan still out. They can, without them, they're just kind of running around. Alexander Isak, one of my favorite Swedes, puts the home side of his head in the 14th minute, heading in Bruno Guimarães' block shot. Anthony Gordon gets a second after Jacob Murphy's pass goes to the box. It's stopped by Jose Sa, who's gone to ground. And then his own player, Max Kilman, decides he's going to run into him, making the ball loose. Coming at Gordon, he doesn't miss that one. Again, Anthony Gordon, sometimes it could be 50-50 if he'll hit the net. He's been better as of late, though. Good for him. 2-0 to the home team. And Tino Livramento gets the last goal and good for him. A good Chelsea lad who's getting some minutes now in a Newcastle squad that seems to get injured and just inconsistency. He gets to play. He gets in the second minute of extras. Real good individual effort from the old Chelsea boy. Taking the ball from midfield to the box. He fights off Craig Dawson and Ryan Nate Newry, and just weirdly putting it past Saw. It's not like he hit the ball very hard or anything. I don't know if he accidentally made a touch on it and it just rolled, and maybe Saw was thinking for an actual shot, but it rolls past him either way. It's the first win at home for the Geordies since before Christmas, which is pretty surprising. Uh, I guess they've been playing well on the road. They've been playing well enough to pick up points, but again, it's their first win at home in 2 months. All right, we move on to the vaunted, to the negligible Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs win 3-1. There you go. Don't have to talk about it. I don't have to talk about it. Probably should have been more. If any, they were absolutely dominant in the first half. Just they couldn't get them to amount to anything. In fact, it took a late comeback here. Abreki Eze, he has a free corner from just outside the box, curl through the wall, curl through Tottenham's wall, and his own wall was going to like set up there too, and he just finds a way to curl it through. It's off the far post and in. A pretty shocking lead, 59 minutes in. Unfortunately for Palace, this was their only shot on target for the entire game. Again, an old friend who some reason decided to go to North London. Timo Werner is the one to tie it, getting his first for the Spuds. He erases an earlier flub he had. We really should have scored in the first half. Takes advantage of some terrific work by Brennan Johnson. Whenever I see Brennan Johnson, I think I'm saying that sentence, which I'm not too fond of, but you got to respect the kid. He finds him alone in space in front of goal. 3 minutes later, Christian Romero heads in a James Madison pass to take the lead. And in the 88th minute, Hung Min Sun, who had 3 or 4 fantastic chances, finally scores. Spurs move 2 points behind Villa temporarily for fourth. And Villa had yet to play. So, another win for Spurs. Spurs, of course, with the game in hand now due to their match with Chelsea being postponed, so Chelsea can go lay an egg in the Carabao Cup. Okay. To Nottingham Forest, and they just can't get things right. Referees can't get things right, and it's Paul Tierney again. Paul Tierney. Why are you giving this guy any kind of marquee matches? Give the new kids these matches. They're not willing to make mistakes, to make obvious mistakes, to make law mistakes. It isn't just. This isn't a matter of like it is being close or something like that. You just didn't even know the rule. You misunderstood the rule and you did it wrong. And it probably cost Force a point. I'll get to it. It was 98 minutes of football played with Darwin Nunez flicking in the header late. Like this is 40 seconds after the 8 minutes or whatever. A nice cross from Alexis McAllister. What I was talking about was 2 minutes before that, when Konate goes down with a head injury. He whistles the ball dead, which is like the play dead, which is correct. A head injury or whatever, you don't worry. You can't worry about if somebody is faking it or not. You stop the play. Rules are, if the ball's in the box, ball goes automatically to the keeper. When it isn't, it goes to whoever last had the ball when the whistle was blown. That last person who had the ball Conte went down was Callum Hudson-Odoi, another former Chelsea guy. He had the ball on the left flank. When the restart happened, the ball was given to the Liverpool keeper Kelleher. He was able to then put it upfield. Okay. Yes, Forest still had 2 minutes. And there was a couple of plays where they had chances to just knock it out. I think Odoi even had one of those chances. You could have had the ball had come to them. They say possession. The ball was just at his feet. He barely touches it or whatever, and just flubs it. He should have been looking to put that ball out of bounds. It should have been automatic. He's under pressure, and he didn't let him go. It didn't work. But because where the ball was, that 2 minutes doesn't happen. Say Forrest has the ball down there for 30 seconds and it's in a draw. Say it happens for 20 seconds. It would have ended in a draw. Yes, to say that, there's still these 2 minutes, it's like, well, you have to imagine that Forrest wasn't just going to kick the ball downfield towards their own net for Liverpool. That's outrageous. If the ball was given correctly to Callum Hudson-Odoi, I am sure that game ends in a draw. It wouldn't be a win. It's not like they had tons of chances. Although Alonga had a great chance, probably should have scored. Iwobi definitely should. He's going to be seeing that chance in the sleep. But a great stop by Kelleher, great leg save. But yeah, he probably could have rounded him. Should have rounded him. But then those are 2 missed opportunities. Of course, Liverpool had some as well, but those are the 2 glaring ones for Forest. Forest, now, after the game, there was maybe a little upset. Of course, this is the team that hired Mark Clattenburg to be like the guy who interprets what the referees are doing. Mark Clattenburg, one of the people to try and talk to Paul Tierney after the match, was denied. He had to go on or whatever and talk about how he'll try and call him and stuff like that. But that isn't the worst things that happen. First off, a fan runs onto the field, and he gets in Tierney's face. He's blocked off by a Forest guy, a Liverpool guy, calmly guided away towards the security fellas, who gently but firmly brought him around towards the stands. One of them put his hand, I'm sure very nicely, over his face while he did it. And then the chairman and owner for Forest, I guess, got into it, tried to get at Tierney in the tunnel. He was just, I think he was just saying something about like respect the players or whatever, something like that. I'm sure that they cleaned that up for what they told people. I'm sure he wasn't that happy about it at all. Yeah, it's another mess. It's another mess, another instance where rules just weren't applied correctly. I didn't hear anything. Of course, Klopp afterwards was saying, "Oh, the same thing happened in the first half, and it happens hundreds of times a year." It does not. That does not happen. That play happens how many times? Jurgen, come on, buddy. Who are you kidding? You know what? To be fair, Nuno didn't ask for a replay of this match afterwards. Ridiculous. Anyways, Liverpool picks up an important point for them, or picks up 3 important points. The single point would have been more important. Say a City team or an Arsenal team, say chase them, and things are getting sticky at the top. We'll get to that very soon. Now, Luton. This is a fun match. This is a real fun match to watch. Home at the Canning, taking on Aston Villa. Aston Villa decide, we're going to be very good for a little bit, and they go up 2-2 through Ollie Watkins with the brace. The first heading a Leon Bailey corner in. The second, after Douglas Luiz catches everyone except Watkins napping from a free kick. Everyone had just stopped. He takes it quick. Watkins gets running, gets to it. He's onside, They had to take a look at that, but sounds like he curls it in to the far post. Goal stood after the VR check. And after that, after Luton was temporarily asleep, it felt like Villa fell asleep, even through to halftime and into the second half. And they finally get rewarded. Tahith Chong takes advantage of a goalmouth scramble after a corner and knocking it in. It's 2-1 after 66 minutes. And then in the 72nd, a guy that we mentioned quite a bit on this show for the Hatters, Carlton Morris gets on to a fantastic free kick from Alfie Doherty to tie it from well outside into right to his boot. Perfectly placed. It was a hell of a cross from Doughty. It looks like they're destined to share a point, but Musa Diaby, who had come in not long before, puts a long cross into the box, and Lucas Digne's there to head it home in the 89th minute, snatching 3 points for Villa, who move back to 5 points over Spurs in fourth place. Luton can't pick up ground on Forest. They are still 4 back, holding on to that. I don't know if you say the first relegation spot or last relegation spot. They're in 18th. How about that? They're 4 points behind Forest in 17th and safety. Okay. That was a good way to end the Sunday matches or the Saturday matches. On to the Sunday matches. Burnley versus Bournemouth. And if you say Burnley in a match, you know what the outcome's going to be. All right, Cherries walked into Turf Moor and just did what they need to do, getting their first victory. Their first victory of 2024. Never mind their first victory at home, first victory on the road. Their first victory of 2024, despite only 25% possession. Burnley had the ball all the time, but couldn't do anything with it. As Justin Clivert with the opener, 13 minutes in, bringing the long pass from Lewis Cook to the box, going from right foot to left foot, back to the right foot. He outweights a sliding Dara O'Shea. He scores it to the far side. David Datro Fofana has a great chance to level. Pass is just a little too far, but it comes off Neto to Jacob Brun Larson. Adam Smith stands tall, hands behind his back. He knew better. Hands behind his back, blocked it right in the guts. Pretty courageous there from Mr. Smith. Brun Larson also have a free kick stopped brilliantly by Neto, jumping up and just tapping just under the crossbar and out. Good, like it was right there. A lot of people thought it may have been in. Nope. Good job by Neto, who was quite good. Josh Cullen, we get a little pull back for offside for as well for Burnley. And in the 88th minute, Lewis Cook puts the pass into Anton Semenyo, who too casually goes into the box and puts a shot off Charlie Taylor and in. Again, Burnley just watching. They were just watching at this point. Burnley, 11 points back now for us. They're done. We're going to talk about another team, but they're done. It's really going to come down in this last third of the season. It's either Forest or Luton or Everton. Probably the way they've been going. We'll see. And the 4 points isn't that much if you're not going to get too many wins. Now, we move to the Manchester Derby, this time at the Etihad. It's a game not even as close as the scoreboard suggested, at least for most of the game. The City had the ball the entire time almost. I think they had 80% of the ball, something like that. But they're the ones that find themselves down early. Marcus Rashford takes a pass from Bruno Fernandes after Onana had cleared the ball almost the length of the field. It was pretty impressive. Bruno Fernandes takes it, puts his back to his defenders, moves a little bit towards goal, then sees Rashford running up, puts it into his stride, and he absolutely hammers a rocket off the crossbar and in. Pretty remarkable goal. I know the announcer started going crazy and talking about how he just loves scoring in a Manchester derby. It's not the only one he says this about too. It's like, buddy, like you're just repeating the same script. Come on, get some fresh in there. Anyways, that shot again. Manchester United's only shot on net. The City would just keep coming close. Phil Foden misses a chance in close. Probably should have passed to Holland. Maybe should have passed to Holland. I don't think Holland looked too upset by it. Usually you can tell he gets a little animated if he thinks he should have had the ball, but you give Foden a shot at it. Rodri had a good chance. And then we talk about Erling Holland again. And he's going to have nightmares about the chances he missed. All of them, the cross comes in. He jumps up for some reason. He takes it on his knee and puts the ball again from an open net, 8 feet over the net. Yeah, not. It wasn't Erling Haaland's best work. Something that we've seen more and more of in these last few weeks. Erling Haaland, despite the chances he gets, and he does score goals, he's still, still leading the league in goal scoring. But he could have so many more. He just makes mistakes. He's making mistakes. He's flubbing some chances. What are you gonna do? Anyways, that was right before halftime. That was the 45th minute. So City would though get the equalizer that they richly, I would say, deserved. The 56th minute, and it is Phil Foden. He's allowed to find space at the top of the D. Allowed to find space, and United had parked the bus. United had everybody back. It's like as soon as they score, they say, "Okay, that's when we don't need to do it again." This is Manchester City. They're not known for scoring goals. They're not going to pressure us too badly. They just sat back. They kept inviting pressure. And this time, Phil Foden makes them pay. He unleashes an absolute missile of his own. I don't know if I would say his heaviest shot is what Rashford put out, but an absolute laser beam to the far corner. Onana had no chance diving after it. 1-1 after 56, and then it's Foden who gets the second. He speeds through the box. He gets past from Julian Alvarez and scores, making it 2-1. Now, Phil Foden has this celebration where he goes like this and then like this. I don't know if he's supposed to be holding two rifles. Like he has things like this. The announcer said it was like the Archer thing, like this thing. That's not the Archer thing. That's something like that. And he's determined to do it too. He did it on the first goal he scored, and on the second one, he goes down to do it. Erling Haaland comes over, gives him a little playful shove or whatever. He starts laughing, then stops and does it. It's like, buddy, the moment's passed, all right? The moment is past. I don't know why you want that for yourself, anyways, but whatever. Haaland is the one who gets the third goal after Rodri steals the ball from Amrabat. He passes to Haaland. Nice low shot beats Onana to the far post. Kept it simple. Just kept it simple that time. City is now unbeaten in 12. And maybe the match of the year up next. United still in 6, and they're just 2 up on West Ham. So we move to the final game of the week. Sheffield United, Arsenal, and I wouldn't consider this a classic, but for many should be memorable. Now, between the two sides, the goal differentials is close to 100, and it got worse. Let's just say it got worse. No one should be surprised by this at all. At home at Bramall Lane, where they've given up, I believe it was like 8 goals to Newcastle. They've given up 5 before the 5 just a couple weeks ago. This week, they give up 6. Odegaard getting the first, putting in a Declan Rice pass that deflects off Anil Amendozic. Not the only time we'll say that. It goes off him in front goal for an easy tapper for Odegaard. The second comes 8 minutes later. Bukayo Saka driving to the net along the goal line. His pass up front deflects off Jaden Bogle and in for the own goal. Martinelli gets one 2 minutes later. Off to counterattack, taking a nice drop pass from Jakob Kivier. Then again, deflects off Amendozic. And then the timid deer gets another in the 24th minute. This time from the ref playing advantage because Amendozic had gone on Rice, grabbed him by the shirt, and kind of whipped him to the ground. Like left-handed. It shows maybe some more strength from Amendozic, but also nice that the ref just let advantage play. I'm sure if there was anything, he would have given a yellow card to Amendosic if it would have gone out, but he lets it go. Anyways, he puts it from his left foot to the bottom right corner. It's a 4-0 lead. And mind you, we should say at least Sheffield United didn't come to blows with each other this time. They actually civilly played this match, at least on the pitch. Who knows what happens in the dressing room and stuff like that. 39th minute, Declan Rice makes it 5. He takes a nice pass from Saka in the midst of 6 disinterested defenders. Arsenal tying a Premier League record with 5 first half goals. They still had 5 minutes yet to play, plus any kind of extras, but just couldn't get that record breaker. I'm sure when they woke up into the North London morning for heading out, they said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to try and break the first half goal scoring record. No, ridiculous. I don't know why people keep track of this stuff. Nobody cares about it. Anyways, they do get that 6th goal, though. In the second half, it's Ben White putting it in for the top of the box. It goes off Ivo Gerbic's fingertips. And that's how it ends. At least Sheffield only gave up 1 in the second half. Of course, Arsenal had taken a bunch of players out. Saka was replaced for saying at the halftime. Trossard comes in late. No minutes for Eddie Nketiah, which I thought was odd. I haven't seen him on the pitch for a bit, but if I had a couple of the other Arsenal fans here, maybe they can get a little more in depth with that. Just think it's kind of odd that he didn't get any time on there at all. Now, the top 3 in the English Premier League, surrounded by 2 points: Liverpool, City, Arsenal. It's a huge match coming up on the weekend, which may help Arsenal in the long run. We'll go through it. Match week 28 coming up. I dig into the tickle trunk for a pen. First of all, we can say match week 27, our predictions were made, and one person, I believe, set a record for the most correct answers. They had 9. The other person had very well as well. They had 7. The winner this week, Adelia. Adelia gets 9. Let's see what she only missed. 1 match. What was the match she missed? Oh, the Chelsea match. She called Chelsea to win. It didn't come through with her. She got everything else right, and at least you got that one wrong. I can appreciate that. Anyways, we now turn our attention match week 28. Starting off, it's Manchester and Everton. Manchester United and Everton, 2 clubs, not very big fans of each other. She believes United will win at home. Okay. I'm gonna agree with her. I think United should win at home. They'll probably end up doing it late. They'll probably be down for a while and end up scoring a goal late, 2 goals late, or something like that to take the lead. Just another thing to bonk Everton in the head with. Second match, Bournemouth, Sheffield United. She has picked Bournemouth. I say, no kidding. Bournemouth, yeah. I don't think Sheffield United will win another game. I think that's it. I think games they might have a chance in will either be a draw or they'll just lose. They're that bad. Worst team I've ever seen in this league. Awful. Crystal Palace, Luton. She's picking Palace at home. And they have looked better with Glasner, only Glasner. I'd like to say Luton gets a point for this. I don't know how. They could score. They're relentless. I'm going to go for a draw. I'm going to pick a draw. Wolves, Fulham. She's picking Wolverhampton to win at the Molyneux. I'm going to pick Fulham to win. I don't know what it is. It's just an inkling, a feeling. I think they can get past Wolves here. Arsenal and Brentford, surprisingly, Adelia is cheering for Arsenal and has decided to pick them. I think they're going to win as well. I don't think they're going to put in 6, but these guys have been a goal scoring machine. 4, not out of the question for Arsenal. We move to the Sunday matches. Villa at home to Spurs. Adelia's taking a draw. I'm going to say Villa wins. I think Villa will probably win 2-0. Let's say that. It doesn't give. It's not like I get any more points if I guess the score right. I'm just putting it out there. I think they can win 2-0 on these guys. Brighton and Forest are playing. She has chose Brighton. I'm going to go with Brighton as well at the Amex. West Ham and Burnley. Burnley, at least they don't get scored on as much as Sheffield United, but they're almost as bad. West Ham should win at home, I think, quite handily as well. Now for the match of the week. Liverpool, Man City. It's at Anfield. Adelia's picked a draw. The draw is the result that best suits Arsenal. If this match ends in a draw, Arsenal will take the lead, or they'll probably have taken the lead by the time these two play, as their matches on Saturday. I think they keep the lead if it's a draw, and they have that massive goal differential lead over everybody. I'm going to pick draw as well, because that's also what I see happening. Could be interesting. We could be looking at Arsenal at the top of the table when we talk about Matchweek 28. The next game, the last game, is good old Chelsea Pensioners, Chelsea Football Club at the Bridge at home to Newcastle. Adelia has generously chosen Chelsea. Of course, I'm going to pick Chelsea as well, because even if I'm wrong, I'd rather be wrong than be right. Call my own club bunch of losers. Okay, thank you very much for watching Starting 11, guys. Of course, you can see the new episodes here every Tuesday. What do we else we got going on? The station, just featuring me, guys, featuring me. Let's see, Thursdays on our entertainment channel, we have the Rewatchers Council. If you're watching this as it comes out, the next episode for Buffy is that we recorded will be When She Was Bad. It's the season 2 opener. Ferris and I talked about that. I love that episode. I love that season. I can't wait to talk more about it. It gets so good. All right. What else do we have? Let's Get Ready Network. After Snark. That's weekends. Also on the Entertainment Channel, that's the show where Danny and I pick a topic to talk about so we can put it on a thumbnail and go on YouTube. And then we can talk about whatever, but we will talk about the thing or whatever. I think last week we had his lovely wife Star on the program. This weekend, I believe we were talking about Pokemon Z to A. I think they got it backwards, but for some reason, it's on purpose. Pokemon Z to A. We'll be talking more about that this weekend. Let's see. Oh, there's also okay. So we have a new show here on the network. It's also live. I think it's live on Twitch, but I know it's on Twitch, and also got for YouTube, where I play the video game Doom for the first time. It's an unfortunate title. It's called Old Man Plays Doom for the first time, and that's what you get when you let a Brazilian title shows for you. I thought it should be maybe Charming Man Plays Doom. Maybe, Debonair Man Plays Doom. Nope. Old Man Plays Doom. You can find that, I believe, on the Entertainment Channel as well. And on Twitch. And then finally, back here on the highlights, starting again this coming weekend. I believe this weekend we may be into the early pit of next week. Anyways, Playoff Beards is coming back. That's our NHL NHL show. It's Adelia and I. We will be covering the trade deadline. That's usually how we start the show. We'll do maybe a couple more episodes before the final matches or final games of the season. Then into the playoffs, we'll have wall-to-wall coverage, hopefully, for the playoffs this year. Can't wait for that. Winnipeg Jets, very good position as we speak. Colorado Avalanche also doing well. So, it won't be a bunch of crybabies this year. Hopefully, one of our teams could do some damage in the playoffs. I am personally hope for the Jets because we deserve it. Okay, and come on, Colorado, they've done enough. Guys, they've done enough. Everyone, thanks for watching. We will see you next week. Matchweek 28, starting 11. See you later.